In just over 3 decades, Southern National Motorsports Park has carved out a reputation as one of the premier short tracks in the Carolinas. Since opening in 1993, this fast 0.4 of a mile oval has become a proving ground for grassroots talent and a staple of the region's racing identity. By the late 1990s, the track was firmly on the map, joining NASCAR's Home Tracks ladder and launching what would become its signature event, the Thanksgiving Classic. That race has evolved into one of the most prestigious late model showcases in the country, helping launch the careers of drivers like Denny Hamlin and Scott Riggs. After a brief shutdown following the 2008 season, Southern National roared back to life in 2012, and today it's stronger than ever. The facility now regularly hosts top-tier touring competition, including the Cars Tour, past super late models, and major regional events that draw some of the best short-track racers in the nation. Tight corners, high speeds, and zero margin for error. That's what short track racing is all about in Eastern North Carolina. It's a FourWide Motorsports Elite Track Sim Shots 80, and it's next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the virtual Southern National Motorsports Park. Race 3 of the FourWide Motorsports Late Model Stock Series. Let's take a look at the race details here for tonight. Back at it, heats, consi, feature, full fuel on board, and only one set of tires over the wall. Nice and simple, that's the way we like it. Weather-wise, we're looking 84 degrees, 24% humidity, clear skies, barely any breeze at 1 miles per hour. Track temperature, though, something to keep an eye on, 116 degrees Fahrenheit. Drivers will have their hands full this evening as far as the handling is concerned. Want to take this time here to thank the sponsors for this series.
Where virtual racing meets real-world style. Gear up with 213 Simware Sim Racing Apparel. Perfect for representing your favorite league, team, or driver. Contact them at 213simware@gmail.com for inquiries. 213 Simware is the official apparel company for the FourWide Motorsports League. Angry Chef Designs is a premier iRacing paint shop owned and operated by Hunter Carlson, specializing in high-quality custom racing liveries. As the proud sponsor of the FourWide Motorsports Racing League, Angry Chef Designs brings creativity, precision, and passion to every design. From bold, aggressive styles to clean, professional schemes, each paint is crafted to help drivers stand out on track. With a commitment to detail and customer satisfaction, Angry Chef Designs delivers top-tier visuals that match the competitive spirit of sim racing. Eastern Technical Design, Inc. provides design and drafting services for commercial, industrial, and residential construction. Services include architectural renderings, preliminary plan design, as well as final construction drawings. Construction drawings include all necessary structural, building, plumbing, mechanical, and electrical plans as required to produce a finished building and/or structure. This company is owned by Tracy Brown, the producer of our FWM network. If you're in the eastern region of North Carolina, look ETD up for any of your drafting needs. Golden Chef Speed Shop is your go-to iRacing setup shop for fast, affordable performance. Owned and operated by Chris Golden and Hunter Carlson, we're focused on giving every driver a competitive edge without breaking the bank. For just $5 per setup, we deliver reliable, race-ready setups built for consistency, speed, and confidence on track. Whether you're racing for fun or chasing wins, Golden Chef Speed Shop provides quality tuning at the lowest price around. Fast, affordable, competitive. Golden Chef Speed Shop, performance you can trust.
It's Elite Track Sim Shots 80, presented by FourWide Motorsports here at Southern National Motorsports Park, brought to you by Track Limits Network. Here live tonight, race number 3. About to get underway. Practice session wrapping up. Let's take a moment here, see if we can get a look at some of the top times. 14:7:44, the fastest thus far. That'll be the number 17 machine of Daniel Jones. Daniel Michel was second quick. Tim Watson, Charles Oberg, Austin Pack, your top 5. Want to make note here, coming up at the end of May, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit here, but we're going IndyCar racing. FourWide Motorsports presents the first ever FWM iRacing Indy 500. It'll be May 23rd, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. There's some payouts to be had here, so check those guys out. Touch base if you'd love to go out there and turn a full-distance Indy 500 here in these Indy cars. That'll be a fun one, and there is some talk of it being broadcasted here at Track Limits. Not confirmed just yet, but stay tuned for it. Just about 2 minutes left in this session. We had a little snafu. We're starting a little bit later than we had anticipated. Some issues with the session that needed to be corrected before we could really get things underway. So just a little bit late, but not terribly. Coming up on 8 p.m. Eastern Time right now with about 90 seconds left. We'll get right into qualifying and then our heat races. Of course, the Consi and then our feature. Upcoming schedule here. Southern National course tonight. Next race will be at Lanier. Same format, heats, LCQ, 80-lap feature. We'll have 2 sets of tires, though, at Lanier. So far, we've only had 1, so they're adding an extra set for the next handful of races. Dan Jones still topping the charts. 14:74, fast time for the number 17, but really not too far behind. Daniel Michel, second quick there with a 14:8. Honestly, 14.8's all the way down into 6th place. We're about 0.2 of a second separating 1st to 10th, so this should be interesting in qualifying. Very competitive field here with FourWide Motorsports. So 35 goes around. Elijah Grant finishing up his practice in the fence. There it is. Practice session concluding. Black and red flags. We won't waste any time here. We're going to get right into our quali session. Get everybody lined up for our heats right after that. Looks like Dan Michel will roll off first in the number 25 Sundrop machine. Michelle on the clock. Multiple drivers out there as well. Can only show you one at a time, so we'll jump around a little bit. Some display issues once again. We're having some technical difficulties with the overlays since last night. Haven't changed a thing other than the camera buttons. But now our font's a little bit different, so hopefully that doesn't give us any problems. But either way, Michelle crossed the line, lap 2 in the books, runs almost identical times, ran a 14.8, then a 14.880. Robert Eversole, though, the top time, 14.71. Steve Luttrell wrapping up already. Gavin Grubbs now on the speedway. Grubbs sits 11th, 14.875. Austin Pack in the 81. I I don't know if they're running a special setup here tonight, but the nose coming up off the ground. Those front tires almost look like they're off the ground. I really think they are. Yeah, there's definitely air getting underneath the nose of the number 81 there. Both front tires shown off the ground. I don't know if all of our issues have maybe they're related to iRacing in general. Maybe we're having some code issues there, but either way, seems that everybody's getting around the track okay. Eversole still the fastest. Still 2.5 minutes left in the session. We'll watch now Thomas Hall. So qualifying just about wrapped up. Scott Shive now on the speedway. Some of these numbers not matching up either. Door number here on the paint scheme is an 87. Thomas Hall shown in the number 93. Eversole still fastest with a 1471. And I'm still trying to figure out what is happening over on my end here with some of these overlays, because now they won't even go away. Stick with us. We're going to come right back. Well, we are back here at Southern National. We are definitely experiencing some significant technical difficulties. Hopefully we can get this fixed, but I can't clear this, and unfortunately my standings keep clearing on me. They were working just fine momentarily. Trying to get some information here to see if I can square away what is going on. So stay with us. Might miss some of these heats here, but we'll keep it live so you can at least see what is happening. Clear that out of the way, but stay with us. Hopefully we can get this thing figured out here momentarily.
Green flag.
Well, I don't know what happened, folks, but we're back up and running. Things look a little squirrely, but that's okay. The caution comes out, though. Antonio Mancini in trouble and around here. Looks like off turn number 2. Again, my apologies. I don't know what the scenario there is. I had to log all the way back out and back in. It seems, fingers crossed, everything's happy for now. Let's take a look, see what happened here just a moment ago. Early on in this first heat, the 24 machine, does he have some help? Just around he goes. So Robert Eversole started this one on pole in his number 1 machine. So we work our first caution of this first heat. And just for the sake of trying things, that looks better than it did before as well, so we're doing okay there. We'll look at the laps. All right, it all fits in the box. All right, well, I think we got it figured out. Don't know what it was, folks, but it doesn't matter. We're going back racing. Green flag back in the air. Eversole and Pack head down into turn 1. Pack in the 81, Eversole in the 1. Then you got Mullins, Carlson, Michelle, the rest of the top 5. And Antonio Mancini around again. This time he's got some company. Colton Briner, Paul Dillon all wadded up in this one. So we're under our caution for the second time tonight. Let's take a look. Here's this one did happen in front of the 24. So look a little further down track here at the green 35. Elijah Grant, little stack up there with the 70 and the 88 of Wes Wiegand. And around they go behind them. 56 machine just barely getting by on the top. A little bit of right side impact in the fence. So working caution number 2 in this first heat here at Southern National. So lights on a pace truck are out. We're ready to go back racing yet again. Still in heat number 1 here at Southern National. Front row once again will be Eversole in the 1 on the inside. And the 81 of Austin Pack up top. Pace truck is in. Barney with the green. We're back underway. Oh, one car around. It's the 56 of Norris. And the yellow is out again.
There you go. Be ready with that brake clean and stuff, guys. Your blower, they're going to drop down some oil dry here, I'm sure.
It's got to be frustrating for the drivers in this first heat, just trying to get some momentum into a rhythm here in this first heat. We've had 3 cautions. And I think that'll do it for this heat. It's over. Finishes under caution, so let's take a look at the race results of Heat 1, and of course, even more problems. I don't know what we're going to do about this, folks. Well, I guess we'll try the grid. Let's see if we got anything there. Nope, no grid either. All right, so it's going to be Tristan Valdez, Scott Shives, Steve Luttrell, Tim Watson, Troy Campbell, Landon Brown, Gavin Grubbs, Chris Golden, Charles Oberg, Frank Wade, your top 10. Yogi Schlier will be 11th. Hayden Bloomer will be 12th. Mike Wild, 13th. 14th is Colton Alderman. Daniel Jones will round out the field in the 15th position. So another 15-lap heat. This is heat number 2. Field begins to roll away. 2 pace laps before we get back under green. Now the grid works all of a sudden. We had the same problem last night, yesterday afternoon, with the Golden Racing All-Star Showdown. Some just tricky things going on here. I just can't put my finger on what's causing it. And now the race results work too. So I don't know if it has something to do with the tie-in from iRacing. Maybe the cars need to be on track. Still haven't figured that out either. But there's your Heat 1 results. Robert Eversole, Austin Pack, Cliff Mullins, Hunter Carlson, Dan Michelle, the top 5. Dan Worthington, David Warmoth, Thomas Hall, Jay Berlin, Wes Wiegand, the top 10. Then Colton Briner, Antonio Mancini, Elijah Grant, Chris Norris, Paul Dillon as we're green in heat number 2. And Tommy Janikowski in the stream chat. Thanks for checking in, Tom. Again, stream chat over at the Track Limits Network page on YouTube. I don't have access to the FourWide Motorsports page, but you're welcome to watch at either location. Maybe pull them both up as we got trouble off turn 4.
Talk to you about your car real quick.
26 into 77 trying to get righted here off turn number 4. Another quick caution here, just a couple of laps in here in heat number 2. Gavin Grubbs, Charles Oberg involved here. This is going down the backstretch here, headed into 3 and 4. And a 77 just drives it in a little too hot, but they stack up with the 10. Now the same story all over again, coming off of 4. Oberg a little quick to the throttle as the 26 has the 72 in front of him. Nowhere for him to go. Both drivers go around off turn number 4 to put us under our first caution in heat number 2. So field ready to go. Be next time by as the lights on the pace truck about to go out. Number 2, Tristan Valdez, Scott Shive on the front row. Barney ready to wave the green again. We're racing from Southern National. Let's get a rhythm in here, shall we? Steve Luttrell working his way up to the top 4 positions unchanged, even as these two do battle side by side. Luttrell trying to hang on to his 3rd place starting position. In this heat, around he goes.
Caution's out. Caution's out.
Big time wreck here. Looks like off turn number 2.
That brake cleaning stuff, guys. Your blower, they're going to drop down some oil dry here, I'm sure.
Rather big one here at Southern National. Again, this place only 0.4 of a mile. Not a lot of room as Luttrell and Bloomer go a lap down. Luttrell was battling into the top 3 there when he went around. Let's see what happened here to the number 36. We saw it pretty much live, but let's go back and take a second look. Back this up a little further with some contact from the 5 of Landon Brown. It's that blue, red, and black machine in behind. And Luttrell gets into the 87 here as well. That was Scott Shive. He was trying to battle up maybe for that 2nd spot. A little contact there. I think that may be what stacked up Luttrell in front of the 5. Brown goes up and clips Chris Golden a little bit, but there you see the end result. It's going to be a tough one here tonight, I think. I don't know if it's just track temperature. It's making these cars step out so much. Doesn't take a whole lot to just, you can stick your hand out the window and push onto the left rear of one of these race cars mid-corner, and it's almost enough to spin them around.
Green flag.
Let's try it again. Valdez, clean air out in front, looking sharp. No real struggles for him. White flag in the air, final lap for Valdez. Down the backstretch for the final time to complete heat number 2. Valdez clean and green from green to checkered. And there it waves. Heat 2 in the books, and it goes to Valdez. So we'll try the results again. And kaput. It works when it wants to, folks. My apologies. Let's see if the grid's working again. Nope. Well, let's see if things change when the cars start rolling. It seems to work once they're out on the track, once everybody is fully gridded. That may have something to do with it. Apologies for trying to diagnose this while we're live, but this is really the only opportunity we've got. Trying to do it on the replay. Sometimes you get some false positives or false negatives. We're still waiting for one more driver to get fully gridded. There's a couple more still showing Paul Dillon and Colton Alderman still needing to take the grid at the rear of the field, so unless we start rolling, this is our consolation race. Still nothing. Well, Dan Worthington and Frank Wade will be the cars on the front row as we get ready to go green. This heat will be a little bit longer. The first two 15 laps, this being Arconci, will run 20 laps. It's Dan Worthington, Frank Wade, David Warmoth, Yogi Schlier, Thomas Hall, Dan Jones, Jay Berlin, Gavin Grubbs, Charles Oberg, Wes Wiegand, the top 10. And it's Chris Golden, Colton Bernier, Landon Brown, Hayden Bloomer, and Tony Mancini, Elijah Grant, Steve Luttrell, Chris Norris, and again, Paul Dillon and Colton Alderman did not roll off from the grid.
Green flag. There will be a caution.
And a caution's out already. Big melee here in turn number 1. First lap, first turn. Wad 'em up. Multiple cars involved. Thomas Hall, Charles Oberg, Hayden Bloomer, Gavin Grubbs, Steve Luttrell, Jay Berlin, Landon Brown, maybe Elijah Grant too, and now the leaders are trying to get into this, and they still haven't cleared the scene. Now let's try and get a look. Somebody must have missed a shift here. I'm thinking it might have been the 17 of Dan Jones. I'm going to back it up a little further here. No, maybe he was just part of the chain reaction. It might have been the 42 of Frank Wade. We'll watch this from his onboard here. All right, so this is coming to green. Yeah, he missed the shift.
What are they doing?
Yep. Frank Wade trying to get the gear there. It would not go in. You heard it hit the rev limiter, and that's all she wrote. Stacked up the outside lane, and well, chain reaction crash after that. They've waved off the restart here, so we're going to try it again the next time by. Green back in the air. Worthington and Warmoth. The 8 and the 08. 8s are wild, crazy 8s here at Southern National. 14 to go, though, in Arconci. And yellow again. 42 of Frank Wade now goes around. He started on the front row, but missed the shift on the initial start, and now in trouble a second time. Watch the 42, top of the racetrack. Little evasive maneuver to avoid some contact with the 12. That's out of turn 2. And little contact in the back, and up the racetrack after that sends him up into the fence. Puts us under yellow again. So Worthington, your race leader, with Warmoth running second. Tom Janikowski in the chat says, I got to get back to racing these cars again. I had a blast in these things back in the Numb Thumbs Racing League. I don't know if I covered that one. Covered a lot of Numb Thumbs races, but I don't think I did any late model stock stuff. I know we did late model stock with IROC. And actually, I put on a late model stock league, but it was 100% road courses. It was kind of a throwback to the early 2000s, late 90s Trans Am series. Except we did it was really weird. We did class racing. We had late model stocks and super lates on the same track at road courses. It's kind of neat because sometimes the supers were faster because they had so much more power. But some of the more technical tracks, the late model stock, ended up becoming the victor. So it was kind of fun to watch. 8 and 8 at the front of the row. Pace truck
Green.
to pit lane. Green back in the air. 9 laps to go. Coming to 8 to go. Worthington continues to lead, and we got trouble off turn 2. They straighten it out, or do they? Somehow they got it completed without taking another yellow flag. 6 laps to go. Worthington still leads over Warmouth, Wiegand, Schiller, and Norris, the top 5, and there's big time trouble.
Got you loud and clear. I don't know why you
Massive impact for Wes Wiegand.
Did not hear him call that caution. Check your radio connections. Check the one on your headset, on your headboard actually, on your left-hand side, on your headrest.
Big time wreck here late in this heat.
You got a good copy.
See if we can get a look at here. Wes Wiegand, a monster hit entering turn 3, clipped here by the 12. And then up the racetrack into traffic. Luttrell getting a big piece of this again. Also, the 5 landed Brown in it. Hayden Bloomer, Charles Oberg, Yogi Schlier. Some bent sheet metal here tonight at Southern National. We haven't even made it to the feature yet. We're on the one to go here. It'll be lap 19 of 20. So this is kind of like our green-white checkered. Race truck is in.
Green flag.
Worthington and Warmouth front row. Green back in the air. Battle for second, Warmouth and Mancini. Mancini had some struggles in his heat race, but now battling for the second spot. Coming to the white flag. Final lap in the Consi. Worthington leads them down the backstretch into turn number 3, but the battle for second is on. Mancini just needs to edge the nose across the line. Coming to start finish as Worthington wins the Consi, and Mancini will take the second spot over David Warmuth. And magically, the results work. I just don't know why this is happening, folks. My apologies, but we'll take it when we can get it. So the Consi results was Dan Worthington, Antonio Mancini, David Warmuth, Landon Brown, Charles Oberg, Colton Briner, Frank Wade, Thomas Hall, Jay Berlin, Elijah Grant, the top 10. 11th was Chris Norris, Wes Wiegand 12th, Hayden Bloomer 13th, Yogi Schlier 14th, Dan Jones 15th, Chris Golden 16th, 17th Gavin Grubb, Steve Luttrell finishes last. Paul Dillon, Colton Alderman did not take the green flag. So if we can, let's try to get to our starting grid, and there it works again. Robert Eversole puts it on pole. Tristan Valdez will start to his outside. Starting in the second row, it'll be Austin Pack and Scott Shive. Row 3, it's Cliff Mullins and Timothy Watson. Row 4, Hunter Carlson and Troy Campbell. Row 5, Daniel Michelle and Mike Wild. Starting 11th, Winner of the Consi, Dan Worthington in the 08, and Tony Mancini will be 12th. 13th starter, it's David Warmuth. Landon Brown, 14th. 15th, Charles Oberg. Colton Briner, 16th. Frank Wade, 17th. Thomas Hall will be 18th. Jay Berlin rolls 19th. And Elijah Grant will be shotgun on the field in the final and 20th position here from Southern National. It's Elite Track Sim Shots, Elite Track Sim Shots 80, Southern National Motorsports Park, presented by FourWide Motorsports. Our feature race about to get underway. Green flag in the feature. Eversole Valdez lead them down into turn number 1. Eversole with the early lead. Pack and Valdez side by side for the second position. Back around. Eversole will lead lap number 1. Pack takes the second spot from Valdez, and both drivers checking up now, trekking away from the 37 of Cliff Mullins and Scott Shaw. That's 4th and 5th. Battle behind them, Watson and Carlson going at it as well. On board with Austin Pack, but the caution comes out.
They're doing a great job, man. We'll keep working on this thing.
Trouble on the backstretch.
You feeling okay?
Pile up here, 5-6 cars maybe involved in this, and the pace truck's going to run over the Mike Wild machine. Well, we got a few laps in. Let's take a look what happened. Looks like it was Frank Wade, Thomas Hall, Elijah Grant, Antonio Mancini, Jay Berlin, and Mike Wild. Let's check it out. So the 00 of Mike Wild. He's going to come down here across the nose of the 42. They'll make some contact. It's off turn number 2. Frank Wade all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack, but then chain reaction after that. The 14, Colton Briner gets in there. 70, Jay Berlin. Thomas Hall. Mancini's been backwards more than forwards, I think, tonight. Monster hit there for Jay Berlin as the 35 Elijah Grant piles in as well. Lined up, ready to go. Racetrack's off, and Eversole fires off quickly. Lap 9 of 80. Battle for second on again. Eversole gets away from Valdez and Pack. Car length separating the side-by-side battle, and they're side-by-side behind them. Mullins and Shive again going at it. Here comes the 28 of Tim Watson trying to become part of this fight. Dan Michelle in the 8th position alongside the 72 of Troy Campbell. They're both running in the tire tracks of Hunter Carlson. Eversole still out in front. Now second place, single file closing in. Maybe some contact there with the 37 of Mullins. Door to door with the 25 and the 28. That's Michelle and Watson. It's the battle for 6th. Troy Campbell in the 72. Trying to hold on to the spot. Charles Oberg in behind has to check up there to avoid some contact. Ebersol continues to lead over the 96 of Valdez and Austin Pack. Top four drivers once again running in order of where they started this race. Field settling into a green flag run here. 17 laps complete here from Southern National Motorsports Park. To watch Cliff Mullins run here in the 8th position in his number 37. Followed by Landon Brown. Dan Worthington, winner of the Consi. I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like we finally have a solid green flag run. Field single file here, trying to log some laps. One car in trouble off turn number 2. Jay Berlin has been involved in a couple of these. I think he had a moment all by himself here, but the right front certainly showing damage. The nose obviously damaged from previous incidents. Going to have to front clip that car after this one for sure. Meanwhile, Robert Ebersol continues to lead here. 0.4 of a second back to Tristan Valdez in P2. Austin Pack, Scott Shive, Hunter Carlson, the top 5. Carlson now up 2 spots. Now cracking into that top 5 for the first time tonight in this feature race. Valdez starting to close the gap just slightly on Ebersol, but losing connection a little bit there. We're going to keep an eye on the 96, hope that doesn't persist. But he's cut a 10th into the race lead. So his tires build some temperature, air pressure, the whole 9 yards. Handling characteristics will change, and maybe changing in the favor of Valdez. But, of course, as soon as we start saying that, Ebersol picks the pace back up, takes that 10th plus back, so it's now half a second the advantage for the one. Oh, trouble off turn 4, the 72 of Troy Campbell.
How's my radio been today? Can you hear me fine?
He is around and the caution is out here 30 laps into this 80-lap feature. Campbell, I think, just takes it to pit lane. No, he's still trying to get righted. I don't know if Troy had a problem with maybe the hardware or he's just trying to look for a place to get back onto the track. Oh, and he hits the wall, trying to turn it back around. Insult to injury for the 72, and he'll take it to pit lane on the tow truck. Let's take a look what happened just a moment ago. He's running the tire tracks of Dan Worthington. Did he just lose this by himself? Yeah, it looks like he did. Maybe jump on the power a little too soon, too much wheel into it. He tried to lock it down to keep it from coming around. Oh, but he gets collected by the 77 of Charles Oberg. Really nowhere for Charles to go there. He was up pretty much as far as he could go. I think Campbell would have been okay if it weren't for traffic behind him, but unfortunately, it's a race. It's a small place. There's going to be traffic everywhere. Tom Janikowski says, have a good broadcast. My race is up. Duel number 1. See you tomorrow. Good luck, Tommy. Thanks for checking in, man. Appreciate it every night. So Robert Eversole, I got to double check here, but I don't think anyone else has led this race up into this point. We'll take a quick gander at it. Yeah, leader Robert Eversole, 35 of 80 laps. Cautions 2 for 8 laps, and you notice there's no data there for lead changes. So yeah, Eversole has led them all to this point. We'll see if he can take this one green to checkers.
Green flag, green flag.
Eversole continues to lead. Battles behind them as the top 3 get single file. Oh, and trouble off turn 2 now. Elijah Grant involved, and I think the 70 of Berlin. He's going to tow it to pit lane, and Timothy Watson also caught up in this. As the 72, Troy's just trying to get back out there. He gets killed by the pace truck. A lot going on here at Southern National here tonight. A lot of bent sheet metal. Well, let's take a look, see what happened here just a moment ago. I'm going to go a little further back here and see if we can get more of the story. Watch the 70 and the 35 here in the frame. Just a little boop the snoot in the left rear. Elijah Grant gets crossed up, and then, of course, the 70's checking up, trying not to run him over, but the 28... Tim Watson really doesn't see him or expect him to do that, so he gets into him as well. And there you see the end result. Now you're going to see Troy Campbell here come in at the end. He's just waiting. Smart move by the 72 there. Just let him get out there, get him back into traffic. So just past halfway as they cross the stripe here, Eversole still leading, Valdez second, Austin Pack, Hunter Carlson, Scott Shive, your top 5. Then it's Daniel Michelle, Landon Brown, Worthington, Mancini, and Oberg. That's your top 10. Further down the line, it's Colton Briner, David Warmuth, Frank Wade, Cliff Mullins, Mike Wild, Tim Watson, Elijah Grant, Thomas Hall. Those are the lead lap cars here back to 18th. Pace truck is in.
Green flag.
Back around. Lots of side-by-side action just outside the top 3 here, and a change of position for the 4th spot. Carlson and Shive side by side. Carlson in the number 32 trying to work his way around the 87. I gotta say, Eversole just really cruising here. So smooth here at the front of the field. About a quarter-second advantage over Austin Pack, who's taking the 2nd spot from Valdez. Oh, the 25 there. Thought about going up the middle. Daniel Michelle Don't know if this place is really suited for 3 wide, but Dan's being aggressive here. We're past halfway. It's time to go. Michelle gets clear. Carlson now. Carlson was up there battling in the top 5. Maybe he got crossed up. Has lost a few spots. David Wormuth running in the 10th position alongside the 28 Tim Watson. Watson's going to take the spot. Charles Oberg may take advantage as well. Worthington and Mancini, the 08, the 24. Reiner and Watson. Now, Watson thought about shoving it down low, but didn't have the space. Reiner closed the door. Now to turn 1, will he try it again? No. Reiner shuts it down again. Now switching lanes, going topside is Watson. Oh, might loosen him up here. Wormuth gained some ground in that exchange with Reiner and Watson. Watson up the racetrack into the 8. Almost turned into another caution. Wormuth able to check up enough to allow Watson to continue down the straightaway. Not clear. 28 laps to go here from Southern National Motorsports Park. Robert Eversole's led them all. Watson going after Reiner one more time here. Now trying to go the long way around. Doors him on the front stretch here, showing his displeasure. He knows he's quicker right now, and he's just frustrated. Finally clear. We'll see if he drives it in deep. Gets to the bumper. Little contact. Roots him up the racetrack. What a battle for position. This would be for the 10th spot. Reiner takes it back and more contact. How long can this go? And he dumps him.
Yellow, yellow.
Reiner around and the caution is out, and it's going to involve a few other drivers. Well, it was fun while it lasted. Saw it here live, folks. These guys were just throwing haymakers at each other for the last handful of laps, and I think Watson finally had enough. Yeah, Watson's on the bumper here, the 14 of Reiner on corner exit. A little bit of contact there. Watson's going to drift up, and now he's just going to get right into the back bumper of the 14 here and push him all the way down the straightaway. Just drives right through him into turn 3. No disputing that one. Watch this in the middle of 1 and 2. On board with Watson. Contact. More contact. More contact. Lots of contact. On the 1 to go as the field works out of turn number 2. Be Eversole and Pack now. Valdez will restart behind the race leader. Scott Shive, Landon Brown, the top 5. Then it's Michelle, Carlson, Worthington, Mancini, and Mullins as the green flag is back out. Tight battle here for the top 3, but Eversole gets clear. Pack now under fire with Valdez to the inside. Such a one-groove racetrack. I say that, but we've seen guys able to get the pass done on the outside. Shive in the 87, Landon Brown in the 5. Still a side-by-side battle for second. The laps are running out here. Less than 16 to go from Southern National. Oh, in trouble. Off turn 4.
How are you doing there, bud?
Thomas Hall, Charles Oberg, maybe some others involved. 5th caution of this feature race. Let's take a look. Definitely some contact with the 77 of Oberg getting into the back of Thomas Hall. Monster hit for Charles Oberg. That might be it for the 77. No, he still had some power to drive it at least to pit lane, but he's going to keep it on the racetrack, I think. We do have one attempt at a green-white checkered finish if necessary. On board with Valdez in second. Let's watch the restart from his perspective.
Ready, green flag.
Side by side with the race leader. Oh, real loose. Might be going around, and there they go. Ebersol straightens it out. No caution, but he loses the lead. But now Hunter Carlson goes around. Ebersol trying to keep it out of pit lane. Now the yellow is out, and Ebersol goes from dominating all the way back to the 12th spot. Contact with Tristan Valdez down the back straightaway. Neither driver wanted to give. Well, let's take a look. Might have to back this up a ways. We're going to have to go a little further here down the backstretch. This is where it started. We were on board with the 96 at the time. Watch it in full speed. Off turn 2. Ebersol just goes up the track, gets the driver's door. I wouldn't put that on Valdez. They did a good job straightening him back out. But then Ebersol gets into Carlson there. Around he goes. Valdez picks up the scrap, so he'll take a little bit of pain from that as well. But that'll give the race lead to the 81 of Austin Pack. And with less than 10 laps to go, Ebersol might have seen the win go out the window unless something miraculous happens. Austin Pack with the lead now. He's no slouch either, but Scott Shive will start to his outside on this next restart. He's going to be a contender. Landon Brown's got a shot. This whole complexion of this race has changed in the last 10 laps of regulation. Wow. Lined up for the restart. It'll be 75 laps go up on the board. 6 to go.
Ready, green flag.
Pack with the lead. Battle for second. Brown and Shive side by side. Brown will take the second spot. Or will he? No, not quite clear. Shive going to work around the outside, but slides up the racetrack off turn 4. So Brown in the second spot cleanly now. Shive to third, Michelle fourth, Worthington up to fifth. One car, it's Eversole up the racetrack in turn two. He continues on, no caution. Coming to the line, 3 laps to go. Austin Pack just looking for a white flag. He's got another lap to go before he sees it. Fingers crossed. The caution comes out. We'll have another green-white checkered attempt. One and only, but half a lap away. If Pack can get there without a yellow, smooth sailing if he can just complete one more lap. Off turn number 4. There it is. White flag, final lap from Southern National. Landon Brown in second. Austin Pack with a almost half-second advantage. That's an eternity here at this 0.4 of a mile racetrack. But off turn number 4, coming down to start-finish, Austin Pack will win the Elite Sim Shots 80 here at Southern National. Landon Brown will park it here in the second spot with Scott Shive coming home in P3. What a finish. Pack just parks it here at start finish. Gonna try and light it up. Just kisses the left rear to the wall. It's all right, they don't tech that part of the car, right? That'll do it here for the feature here at Southern National. We're gonna step aside, get a break out of the way. We'll come back, hopefully with our top 3 finishers after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws late model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook. Back at Southern National Motorsports Park, the Elite Track Sim Shots 80 in the books. Race 3 of the FourWide Motorsports season. And Austin Pack, an unlikely winner, certainly earned it. Thought this was going to go to Eversole, but this was not meant to be. Austin Pack put himself in position, was there all night, waiting for an opportunity, and the opportunity presented itself, and he parks it in victory lane. Let's see if we can get a word with our winner and the driver of the number 81 machine. It's Austin Pack. Austin, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got a copy? We lost Austin. Let's try it again. Austin Pack, it's Steve with Track Limits. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Austin, congratulations, man. I know this was I guess the best word for it is frustrating night for a lot of drivers out there, but you put yourself in the top 3 position for the majority of the night. It looked like Eversole was going to run away with things. He got tangled up there with Valdez, and you pick up the scraps and hold him off. You lead 9 laps en route to the victory. Walk us through this race and those multiple restarts that y'all had to endure.
Yeah, man, just like I said, taking it easy, hanging on to the end, just because you knew caution after caution after caution. I mean, I feel like I saved enough because I ran my fastest lap on lap 78. So I knew I had enough in the tank, just trying to ride it out till about 10 to go, and then I didn't have to work as hard after they got into it.
Certainly an impressive run here tonight. Again, we say it so often, you may not necessarily have the fastest car, or maybe you do have the fastest car and you're just going to walk away from things like Eversole seemed to have tonight, but you got to have a little bit of luck. You had some pace and some luck. You parked this thing in victory lane. How do you carry that momentum moving into Lanier next week?
Unfortunately, I won't be here next week. We are taking our daughter on a Disney cruise, so we're going to use that for the drop week, and then hopefully just carry the momentum into the following week.
Carrying a win into the drop week, nothing wrong with that. Certainly enjoy yourself with the family on the cruise. Austin, congratulations, man, picking up the win here tonight. Who do you want to shout out to?
Thanks to the Jordan Brand Pennzoil car for bringing another fast race car to the track. Appreciate Wayne, Hunter, Chris, Colton for putting all this on. You guys in the booth for doing this. I know it takes a lot of time and effort, so I just appreciate everybody's input.
All right, Austin, thanks for the kind words. Congrats again, and again, enjoy the vacation, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Austin Pack, race winner tonight here at Southern National. Next, we'll talk to Landon Brown, our runner-up. See if we can pull Landon. And I don't think Landon is available in the booth, but Landon started 14th and brought it home in P2. We've got some... Oh, there's Landon. We've got multiple drivers in the waiting room that don't need to be in the waiting room, so we're just trying to get that cleared out. We'll pull Landon up and talk to our runner-up. Landon and Steve, what track limits? You got us?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Landon, congratulations, man. 14th to 2nd at a track. 0.4 of a mile, pretty much one lane to work with. Survived some carnage, and there you go, a P2 finish. Walk us through your night. How was it navigating through all that chaos and traffic tonight?
Well, you said it right there. It was chaos, most definitely. We were in the transfer spot in our heat. I wasn't too happy with my qualifying run, but we made it to the transfer spot, and then people, of course, started making some aggressive moves, and we got caught up in stuff that wasn't our fault. And ended up in the B main. Again, people made some aggressive moves, and luckily it worked out in our favor in the B main, so we made it through. I knew I was fast enough to run the feature, but it's just getting through that stuff that was hard. But once we got to the feature, luck played into my hands pretty well. I got through a lot of stuff that maybe I shouldn't have. And yeah, I mean, this is my home track. I live 20 minutes from here, so I sort of know how to drive the place. I've watched many races here, and glad I was able to put that knowledge to good use.
Certainly did put it to good use. Hard Charger Award, if there was one in this series, you certainly got it. 12 positions gained over the course of the afternoon. The next closest was 7. So a job well done here tonight. Carry that momentum now into race 4 at Lanier. How do you prep yourself to be fast and clean next week?
Yeah, I think Lanier's a tough track. It looks easy, and it is easy to drive, but it's hard to race, if that makes sense. It promotes an aggressive driving style. There's a pretty open apron that people are able to use, and sometimes they don't use it correctly. So there's going to have to be a little bit of luck playing into my favor again, but I think overall, in the past, I've ran pretty good at Lanier. I've been pretty fast there, so I feel pretty good about our chances.
All right, Landon, well, job well done here tonight, man. Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank Eastern Technical Design and Tracy Brown, Left Foot TV, you guys at Track Limits for putting this on, and FourWide, Wayne Cannon, and Hunter Carlson. All those guys, Justin Brooks Designs for my killer paint scheme that I got to run tonight, Firestone Painting, LB Sim Shots, and yeah, that's the village.
Got it covered. Landon, congrats again. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck next week.
Thank you, sir.
Landon Brown, runner-up here at Southern National. Next, we'll talk to the 87 to Scott Shive. He had some pace. I think we talked to him last week. We'll get to talk to him again here. We'll pull him up into the booth and get a word with Scott Shive. Scott, Steve with Track Limits. You there?
Hey, what's up, Steve?
Scott, congrats again. We get to chat with you another time here. Started fourth, finished third. Forward progress, always a good thing. Things kind of got unraveled here late with a late race restart. Kind of put you in position to gain some more spots. You finished this thing out in P3. What was going through your mind when Eversole and Valdez had their problems late?
Yeah, podium is definitely good. I think with these shorter races, I think obviously it's different from last season. We had a lot longer races, and I think I'm learning track position is really going to be key. I think definitely at a place like this, you can absolutely make moves. I'm so glad that we can still make moves and make passes. I think it was a bit more difficult at Stafford last week, and I think it was a little bit better here. But I'm actually on a mobile setup right now. I'm on my laptop. I've got this whole crazy thing. I had to travel out of the state, and so, but I was like, this is my favorite track. We talked about it last week, and I was like, this is a place I feel like I can definitely perform well and win. And I didn't get to my place in time to set up to have enough practice time. And so I qualified 4th out of 30, which I felt was good for having 2 minutes of practice. But I think it really would have come down to qualifying up at the front and being able to control this race because it is very hard to roll the top. I was able to do it there with Landon Brown a couple of times before I was on the front row. And that's what I was going to try to do to Austin Pack there at the end after the incident between Eversole and Valdez. And so, but there's no restart lines, and Pack got an excellent restart, and I didn't have the timing because I was worried if I jumped the restart, I'd get in the OL, and I would much rather finish 3rd or 4th than finish back in 16th. And I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking about trying to win a second championship, and so a 3rd place is fine with me. But this is a place I'm definitely a little frustrated because I know I absolutely could have won here, and that's frustrating, but I can also be very happy with the P3.
We've all heard the line, there's calculating drivers and there's kamikaze drivers. Scott Shive using his noggin here tonight, thinking like a racer. Finishes P3 here tonight. Roll that momentum now. Next week, going to Lanier, another tight short track. How do you prepare?
Well, I would say the same thing I said to you last week, and I know I'll be at home in my home rig. That's another place that I feel good. Like I've been learning in these past couple races, qualifying and heat race positioning is going to be very important. So I'll be really trying to get up on those front 2 rows and competing at the front for the 80 or 90 laps that we'll have come the feature race. But Lanier is a very fun place. You get to use the apron a little bit. I love it. It's a very fun place. Southern National was fun. We had a good time. We'll be happy with what we got tonight and keep rolling forward.
All right, Scott. Well, job well done. Is there anybody you want to shout out to?
Of course, the paint scheme was messed up with the laptop tonight. Of course, I always got to shout out the B-Main podcast. We record every Monday or Tuesday night. We get it out. We're up on YouTube and Spotify. That's the B-Main podcast. We talk all about asphalt, short track, dirt, and all the way up to NASCAR. But we mainly focus on everything short tracks. Got to thank my family, of course. Got to thank my girlfriend, especially tonight. We're going to her senior formal tonight in college, and that's why I had to travel. And I'm thankful that she allowed me to be able to race tonight. We'll go have a fun night. And thanks, of course, to all my teammates, and it's really fun. Thanks to admins. I know we're working out kinks with the heat racing and everything. I know we're still having more incidents, but I know these admin are hard at work, and so I definitely want to thank them for all their cooperation. Thank you, Steve, too. I know your job. I know it's hard.
All right, Scott. Well, thanks for the kind words. Job well done here tonight. Good luck next week.
Thank you, Steve.
Scott Shive, 3rd place finisher. You can tell that guy's got a podcast. He's got a voice for it for sure. But that's going to do it for our interview portion of tonight's broadcast. And the part that I fear the most, let's see if we can get the race results to actually display. Oh, my goodness. There it is. Austin Pack with the race win. We talked to him. Landon Brown, P2. Scott Shive. We had conversations with all 3 of those drivers. Jobs well done by all 3. Dan Michelle finishes P4. Dan Worthington won the Consi, finishes with the top 5 here in the feature. Antonio Mancini, man, that guy had some terrible luck here all the way up from the heats to this main event, this feature event tonight. He still brings it home P6. Cliff Mullins was 7th. Tristan Valdez, a top contender until very late, tangled with Eversole. He'll finish 8th. Frank Wade was 9th. David Warmuth was 10th. Thomas Hall 11th. Colton Briner was 12th. Hunter Carlson finishes in the 13th spot. Elijah Grant 14th. Robert Eversole, dominant driver tonight, finishes 15th. The last car on the lead lap. Tough ending for the one. Mike Wild was 16th. Charles Oberg was 17th. 18th finisher Troy Campbell. Tim Watson was 19th. And Jay Berlin credited with last in 20th place. Thank you guys all for tuning in here again tonight. Tom Janikowski, Dave Woe 8 in the chat again here late. Only a couple chatters tonight. We got to boost those numbers up, but either way, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching the broadcast. Look forward to seeing you guys again next week at Lanier. Also, if you're bored tomorrow night, check us out, IROC TV, IROC Challenge Series, Track Limits Network. I'll get it right. We'll be here live about 9 p.m. Eastern Time. That'll be a fun one with a handful of NASCAR, actual real-life NASCAR regulars. Dale Jr. has been known to occasionally visit. Carson Kvapil, Parker Retzlaff, and even some older names like David Green and maybe even Marty Lindley will jump out there and turn some laps with these guys. So check that out. Wednesdays, we've got the Zero X Strategy Series as their season is now very young. They put on a great show, too. Really focusing on the strategy side of things. So lots of action here at Track Limits Network. Feel free to tune in and say hey, even if it's not your home league. We'd love to see you. Tom Janikowski's here every night. I've already lost track to which one he races in because he's here every time. So that'll do it for us here at Track Limits. Thank you guys all for tuning in. It was a fun one, even with all the wrecks. Happy to call it. Certainly appreciate these FourWide Motorsports guys. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.